Hello, everyone. Hope that you're having a wonderful Friday and that you'll head into beautiful Shabbat with our beautiful weather. It's so nice. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And like I said, you're enjoying the cool weather. I have been so excited to get out all my sweaters and jackets for the next, 3 days of Florida winter. So I hope that you are as well as we enter this really fabulous Torah portion that continues the story of our forefathers, where we really start to get into the meat of Jacob and the story of we have Abraham, Isaac, and now getting a little bit into the meat of the story of Jacob. We're in the Torah portion of Vayetze, and which means like when he went out. And when he goes out, one of the first things that we find out in his departure from his home, really, is that he leaves Beersheba, which is the area that he's hanging out in, and then he sort of wanders and he shows up to this certain place. And in this place, he has one of the most famous pieces of Jewish text. This moment of Jewish text, as you can tell behind me, probably gave it away. He has this dream about the angels that are going up and down on this ladder. And it's Jacob's dream, or Jacob's ladder, or all that sort of very popular piece of text is this week's Torah portion. And there's so many intricacies, particularly in regards to the language surrounding these moments. The moment, even when he shows up to the certain place, and how he sets up some stones, and then ultimately he has this dream because he goes to sleep, and in this dream he dreams of this ladder. The ladder itself has one of my favorite terms. I sometimes bring it up in our Torah discussion. It is a hapax legomenon, which means it is a word occurrence that happens in the Bible only one time. The word sulam, which is ladder or staircase or some other variation of what that is. Hence, I have many of them behind me, versions, if you will, of different types of ladders. And the concept of the angels going up and down this ladder is also very, very interesting, particularly because the text says that they're going up and down and not down and up, which means that they start on the ground. It means they start on earth and then go upward. So it's a beautiful concept for us to think about. But in this hapax legomenon, in this concept of the ladder, it also talks about the fact that it was mutzav. It's a Hebrew word for standing very firmly on the ground. And so the text goes on to say that it was really, really, really deeply rooted into the ground. And so it's almost as if it could not have just been something flimsy that we open up when we just quickly open up a ladder. Like behind me, like I said, there are all these different types of ladders. The ones in different shapes, the ones that you can lean against the wall, that ones sort of open up and sort of have a triangular shape to it. And it's interesting that it talks about a ladder. It doesn't actually necessarily explain how it sits. Like if it's a straight up ladder that goes right from the ground, mutzav, like really, really strongly placed on the ground, up in just a straight sort of angular way up to the sky. It says it goes up to the sky. Or is it sort of a different ladder that has this triangular thing? It could be a rope ladder. There's a rope ladder over here, and so it doesn't really say. But the intricacies of this ladder and this ascent and this dream and this moment and the angels is what's so powerful for Jacob in this moment. And like I said, this word ladder is a hapax legomenon, meaning it only occurs one time in Jewish text. So I think there's a reason for that, and that is because of the significance that the ladder brings. In fact, I took the liberty of thinking of ladders, and I'm sure we all know that there's this superstition about ladders that you shouldn't walk under a ladder. So there are a bunch of different superstitions. It's believed that the walking under the ladder superstition comes from ancient Egypt, believe it or not. So interesting in the sort of period of time that we think of. Um, People were nervous about ladders in the medieval period because sometimes the ladders were used. Um, they resembled gallows, so they were not a big fan of that. Some actually people thought that the space that existed under a ladder is where spirits lived. So there's all kinds of interesting things, and so clearly there is something about a ladder that connects somehow to not just Jewish lore, but also to the world around us on this. Most importantly, but a ladder is you got to be careful when you're on the ladder. So on this Shabbat, I invite us to think about not just the ladder, but also the fact that it's very strongly connected to the ground, that it's very firm, it's firmly connected. And so I hope that all of us on the Shabbat, with so many things going on around us, both in the secular world on the news, and also what's happening in Israel consistently. I don't want us to have a flimsy ladder. Meaning, let's seek to use that firmness. There's a reason why the text goes on to say that the ladder is firmly placed into the ground. It doesn't need to be there. It can just say there's a ladder there. We don't need to know it's firmly placed. So I'm asking us on this Shabbat to seek that firmness, to seek that rootedness that we so much need in our lives, and not have these flimsy moments, these flimsy thoughts, these flimsy relationships, these flimsy thoughts about God, or these flimsy thoughts about Shabbat and our people and our community and our congregation. Rather, I wish us to have these firmly planted and rooted concepts within each and every one of us. So happy ascent to everyone on your ladders. Happy firmly planted ascent on your ladders. Shabbat is very soon arriving for all of us at 6:30. We look forward to seeing you, and then tomorrow morning at 8:30 for our service and our Torah discussion. Look forward to seeing you soon, and of course, look forward to putting as much shalom as we can into our Shabbat.